Okay, this is a shoot interview clip. Triple H talking about how imposter syndrome was kind of a thing when he took over as the lead guy in DX after Shawn Michaels left after WrestleMania after his back injury, and he had to retire for like 4 years. Triple H then became the face of DX. They brought in the New Age Outlaws. They brought in X-Pac. He talks a little bit about it here.
Shawn has like a bad back injury, right?
Yes.
I think he wrestles. Who does he wrestle? WrestleMania? Is it Stone Cold?
Austin.
Yeah, he wrestles Austin, and then I think Mike Tyson is the ref.
Yes.
Like massive match. Austin puts Austin over, retires for a little bit, right, because of the back.
4 years.
Now, so far at this point in your career, you've always been like with the top guy.
Because when I was with Shawn, right, I'm on the rise, but I'm in the middle somewhere.
Sure, but like you're connected to Shawn
Yes.
now, or before you were maybe connected to the Clique, even though it was backstage,
Yes.
but there was a connection. So this is the first time in your career where now you are at the helm.
Yes.
And you asked Vince, and I remember you cut a promo where you like acknowledged Shawn, but then you very quickly
Move on.
move on. Can you just tell me what's going on through your head right there? Because it's a big transition.
So when we were doing DX, Shawn and I we had wanted to make the group bigger, and we liked Road Dogg, and we liked Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
Billy Gunn. X-Pac was actually in WCW at the time.
Right.
So we had said, look, Road Dogg was like Jesse James, and Billy was Rockabilly. I mean, it was terrible shit. And we were like, look, put these guys together as a tag team.
Yeah.
Let them start to do their own thing. And if it starts to get over, when the time is right, we'll put them with us and we'll make the group bigger. But we can build two young stars out of this. They start to work together. It actually starts to work. They call them the New Age Outlaws, and it starts to work on their own. So we're like, we're telling Vince, like, let them do their own thing. When the time is right, we'll pull them in, but let them do their own thing right now. And they're loosely associated with us. We would do things like, for example, they were trying to get going. DX was pretty over. They wanted to do a program with New Age Outlaws and the Road Warriors. Road Warriors didn't want to do it. They wanted to work with us. We just shot an angle with them on TV where we beat the shit out of them. We shaved Hawk's mohawk off and all this stuff. Road Warriors thought they were getting into a storyline with DX. What we did was, as soon as we started to get the heat, we let Billy and Road Dogg do it, and we kind of stood off to the side.
Yeah. And
they did all the big damage. And Road Warriors ended up in a program with them, which they didn't want to be in. Right? We just backed out of it. So we had those guys associated with us, but not with us.
I just wanted to point out, so that was a nice way to swindle the Road Warriors out of working with them. Man, the Road Warriors must have been pretty upset. Maybe that's why that last run didn't last very long. I don't know. We'll see.
John gets injured. Shawn goes to WrestleMania, which is like this nightmare. And, at that point in time, Shawn also was legendary drug problems and all this stuff. But now Shawn goes away. And I think a lot of people thought that was it. I'm done. I'm never going to get past where I am. Whatever. We talked about let me take the helm. And
what is your pitch?
Sort of, let's do the same group, but let me take the helm. Let's bring in Billy and Road Dogg, the New Age Outlaws, which were kind of over on their own now. Let's put them in it. We'll reform DX. And X-Pac, whose contract he was in WCW.
So we bring him back over.
His contract was up, and he was dying to get out of there because at that point they were pretty fucked up, the whole group. So he left. The timing was perfect. So he just signed with us. He popped over. So the night after WrestleMania or whatever it is, I go out there and I cut a promo basically on Shawn saying, like, you told me Tyson was good. He wasn't. You told me you had this. Don't worry about it, kid. And you didn't, like it was a problem. Well, you're out. I'm in. So now.
So you act as if you kick him out of the group.
Yeah. Now I'm taking the fucking lead. So now what do you do if you need to start an army? You go find your friends,
soldiers.
you go find your blood, right? You find your soldiers. I bring in the New Age Outlaws. I bring in Kid. And
are you scared at all? Are you like, maybe, is there like a, what is that called? Imposter syndrome happening at all?
Yeah.
Where you're like, they only like Shawn.
Well, everybody else is saying this isn't going to work. There's a lot of people, this isn't going to work. It's not going to work. He doesn't have it. Those other guys they don't have it. Like, it's not going to work. Shawn was the glue. Shawn was the key. Shawn was this.
So what makes it work?
We made it work.
Because some people would say that it got even bigger.
It got even bigger.
Okay.
It did. It got even bigger. And that was the thing. So at that point, and we still had China with me, which she was a glue to that thing. But sort of in that realm, I knew that night when I went out there to cut that promo with Kid and Billy and all that stuff and restart the group, it needed to be big. Like, I needed to go out there and hit a home run, or Vince is very quickly going to go, everybody's right, and move on, because he's believing in it.
Yep.
And he wants to see it work. So he's giving me the ball. And we just went out there and, my opinion, we knocked it out of the park, and then they went with it, and the rest is history.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that they definitely knocked it out of the park. But yeah, I remember as a kid thinking, like, the New Age Outlaws were associated with DX, so that was definitely a natural addition. And then you brought in X-Pac, which I was an internet smart mark at the time. I knew he was done with WCW, and it made perfect sense for him to debut the night after WrestleMania. And then he cut that promo about Eric Bischoff being so far up Hulk Hogan's ass. And it was cool. It all worked out. And then they eventually turned face just because the fans were cheering them anyway. So it was like they kind of turned themselves, they got themselves a little too over. And they turned face, and they feuded with the Nation of Domination, and they helped Mick Foley win his first championship, all as faces. They weren't heels, they were faces. Because they got so over, the fans were not booing them like they should have been. They were just cheering them, and I think the fans turned them face. And that's how over it got. That's how crazy it got. And as a matter of fact, I'll insert the clip here. 1998, I graduate high school, and I'm doing the Suck It on stage. So DX definitely played a role in my life. And yeah, let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think? Thanks for watching. Imposter syndrome? No. Triple H knocked it out of the park. DX is awesome. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.